Here are top movie critic reviews and what you need to know about the series The Midnight Gospel on Netflix. The Midnight Gospel is an American animated web television series for adults created by Adventure Time originator Pendle Ward and comedian Duncan Trussell. Released on Netflix on April 20th, 2020, The Midnight Gospel is the first animated production from Ward for Netflix. Want a chance to win a free Amazon gift card? Wait till the end to find out how. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. The Midnight Gospel sets actual podcast interviews between Duncan Trussell and different guests into whimsical adventures. In a dimension called the Chromatic Ribbon, Clancy Gilroy, a space caster, possesses an unlicensed multiverse simulator. Through it, he journeys through realms that are about to have their own apocalypses to interview some of their residents for his space cast. The interviews are based on earlier episodes of Trussell's podcast, The Duncan Trussell Family Hour. Special guests in the podcast include Phil Hendrie, Stephen Root, Drew Pinsky, Trudy Goodman, Jason Loeb, Caitlin Doughty, Michael Marciano, Maria Bamford, Joey Diaz, David Nickdom, and Dini Fennig. Top movie critic reviews. Ashley D. Stevenson, Salon.com. The topics discussed are wide-ranging and deep. Death, life, spirituality, love, each approach with eccentricity, enthusiasm, and deep compassion. Thumbs up. Darren Frannick, Entertainment Weekly. At a moment when even the best cartoons are trending hyperkinetic, Ward and Trussell deserve credit for going in a meditative opposite direction. The result is a new kind of masterpiece, easy to like, easier to worship. Original score? A. Thumbs up. Brian Tallarico, RobertEbert.com. We often say that a show is like nothing else on television, and it's usually an act of critical hyperbole. Trust me, it's true here. Thumbs up. Stuart Jeffries, Guardian. The result is a little like Mr. Ben for adults, or if you prefer, comedians in cars getting coffee, but with Jerry Seinfeld replaced by a pink cartoon human wearing nothing but a Gandalf hat and a hand towel to conceal his modesty. Original score? 4 out of 5. Thumbs up. Robert Lloyd, Los Angeles Times. There's a lot of activity in the foreground, background, and middle ground of the frame, and the series is worth watching twice just to take in the details. Thumbs up. Eric Cohen, IndieWire. The Midnight Gospel is overloaded with so many ideas it often threatens to de-evolve into one of these ephemeral late-night Adult Swim gambits, but Ward, who directs every episode, always comes back to the plot. Original score? A. Thumbs up. Synopsis. The Midnight Gospel follows Clancy Gilroy, a space caster, video podcaster in space, who lives in a dimension called the Chromatic Ribbon, where virtual reality farmers use powerful biocomputers to simulate universes to harvest technology. Each episode circles around Clancy's journey through planets inside the simulator, with the beings dwelling in these worlds as the guest interviews for his space cast. These interviews are based on the real interviews resulting from Trussell's podcast, The Duncan Trussell Family Hour. The episodes normally close with an apocalyptic event from which Clancy barely manages to escape. Main cast: Duncan Trussell as Clancy Gilroy, reoccurring cast: Phil Hendrie as Universe Simulator and various characters, Stephen Root as Bill Therius and various characters, Mary Bamford as The Witch and various characters, Doug Lussenhop as Daniel Hoops and various characters, Joey Coco Diaz as Steve the Junk Boat Fish and various characters, Christina P. Pazazitsky as Sarah and various characters, Steve Little as Captain Bryce and various characters, Johnny Pemberton as Cornelius and various characters. Want a chance to win a free Amazon gift card? Like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and answer this question in comments. What topic would you want to see discussed in the series? Winners will be chosen randomly in comments, so make sure to come back and see. Guest stars: Drew Pinsky as Little President, Episode 1 and Episode 5. Natasha Leggero as Peggy, Episode 1. Anna Lamott as Ann Deer Dog, Episode 2. Raghu Markus as Raghu Deer Dog, Episode 2. Damien Echols as Darryl the Fish, Episode 3. Trudy Goodman as Trudy the Love Barbarian, Episode 4. Pauly Shore as Prince Jamroll, Episode 4. Jason Loeb as Jason, Episode 5. Eddie Pipton as Bob, Speaking Voice, Episode 5. Joanna Warren as Bob, Singing Voice, Episode 5. David Nickturn as His Divine Grace, God Scientist, Episode 1 and David, Episode 6. Dante Perrieri Olsen as Shenarius, Episode 6. Will Oldman as Bubble Max, Episode 6. Caitlin Doughty as Death, Episode 7. Deneen Fending as herself, a.k.a. Duncan's mom and Clancy's mom, Episode 8. Ramdas as Ramdas, Episode 8. Development, Conception, and Creation. While working on Adventure Time, the Midnight Gospel showrunner, Pendleton Ward, heard about Duncan Trussell's podcast, Duncan Trussell Family Hour, from a colleague with whom he worked on the show. Ward became fascinated in the podcast due to his taste for listening to people talking about philosophy. As stated by Ward, Duncan is a lot of fun. Sometime in 2013, during the start of his podcast broadcast, Trussell received an email from Ward admiring him for his podcast. Soon after, Trussell and Ward became friends, and Ward proposed to Trussell to turn his podcast into an animated series. In 2018, Ward approached him again to show a rough concept, taking a podcast discussion about drug addiction and playing it over an animatic of Trussell and his guest trying to fight off a zombie invasion. This rough concept ended up being incorporated into the pilot of the Midnight Gospel series. The two brought the concept of the Midnight Gospel series and pitched it to Mike Moon, head of adult animations at Netflix. Netflix ordered 8 episodes in 2019, which premiered on April 20th, 2020. After gaining the go-ahead, the two assembled a team of comedians like Johnny Pemberton, Brendan Walsh, Weird Al Yankovic, and Emil Phillips, who were joined by Panoramal scholar Jason Loeb and White Witch Majida Oust. The two gathered a team of about 190 people at Titmouse and started working on creating the episodes. They also worked to discover a method to insert them in the psychedelic apocalyptic tapestry of the animation. According to Trussell, the inspiration for the Midnight Gospel came from Adult Swim's lo-fi aesthetic to general shows such as Space Ghost Coast to Coast and Aqua Teen Hunger Force. As for Ward, it was Trussell's long-form audio conversations that motivated him to return to TV animation, and the new series was a chance to explore the daring new world of creating animation for grown-ups. Thus far, he had made animations for children only, and the Midnight Gospel would be an opportunity to change his way of making animations using the ultra-violence of cartoons with dialogues on compassion. The Midnight Gospel title came from the good news sense of the word gospel. Trussell says gospel means good news, and I was hoping that we convey the message that even though the most catastrophic situations, when everything is falling apart, there's opportunity to grow as a person. A second season for the show, The Midnight Gospel, is indeterminate. As per Trussell, the world of the Chronic Ribbon is a very big world. I spent a long time with Penn working out all the details. Some people might see it and think some people are saying gibberish, that something was absurd and unintended, but every brick in that structure, every piece of the puzzle is intentional and based on a lot of lore. It's a very, 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 very interesting, big world, and I would love to explore that world for as long as I possibly can. Trussell themes. Throughout the Midnight Gospel, the series deals with various themes that were explored through the interviews. In the first season, the guest interview talked about topics such as magic, meditation, forgiveness, spiritualism, funerary rituals, death positivity, drug use, pain, moksha, transcendence, and existentialism. The cartoon also acts as a context for stories that expand the interviews. The storylines are therefore equally expensive. The second episode of the Midnight Gospel opens with deer dog hybrids battering baby clowns, while the fourth follows the journey of a knight seeking revenge against an ass-wielding villain. These eclectic subjects are chosen in such a way as to complement the discourse of the interview they go with. These lively backstories are intended to pull the viewer into the conversation, making them a vital part of the exploration of said subject. Life cycle is a constant in several episodes of the Midnight Gospel, an exploration of birth and death, but the series supports how the cycle is an incessant, unending process and no one can escape it. Marketing. The first teaser for the Midnight Gospel was released on March 16th, and the main trailer on April 6th. Netflix YouTube channel launched a live stream on April 19th, 2020 with a countdown to the series' debut on the streaming service as part of promoting the show. During the live stream, small portions of the episodes were revealed, as well as a psychedelic animation. The user's guide for the multiverse simulator used by Clancy was made accessible online by Netflix through the Midnight Gospel's Reddit account as part of its advertising campaign. Release. The 8-episode first season of the Midnight Gospel ordered by Netflix was released on April 20th, 2020. As stated by Trussell, the Netflix executives first proposed releasing the series on the Stoner holiday, and Ward suggests putting the show out on April 20th. The date is Trussell's birthday and cannabis-orientated celebrations that take place yearly on April 20th. Did you find out how to win an Amazon gift card? Be sure to watch again to find out how. Be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And make sure to share this video. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out our other videos.